Hello everyone, my name's Travis with the Frostbind Gaming YouTube channel, and this will be my first video for the Grand Archive TCG here on YouTube. I previously streamed on Twitch and am looking to expand my social reach here to YouTube. So for my first series of videos, I figured I would look to reach out to a more niche part of the community, which would be the budget side of the community, the new players, people looking at the game but might think that it's too expensive, or that they won't be able to achieve what they would like to in this game on a very small budget. So I had the idea for a budget series using the new Distorted Reflection starter decks that are going to release later on this week. So this is just a video to explain the rules of the challenge to all of you so that you can follow along from the very beginning and know what's going on. So let's get into the rules. So I wanted a very streamlined set of rules, not too much to make it convoluted, but to enough rules that it would present some kind of a challenge and put limitations on things so that you can't just go out and buy a bunch of single cards or anything of that matter. And I'm gonna kind of I gave a brief description here on screen. I'm going to expand on that just a little bit here. So it talks about here that we're operating off of a budget of $20 a week, and it also says here that we can only expand on these starter decks from winnings from locals, or like if you get a pack handed out to you for joining locals, that goes towards it, and anything that we would use our budget on as far as like packs and things go. So it also states that at the end of the month we can use whatever is in the bank, which I will touch on briefly here in a second, to purchase 2 singles at the end of the month, max of 2, that will help to upgrade the deck. So let me touch on the bank first before I get into more of the other stuff here. The bank is anything that's left over at the end of the week. So if I spent $17 out of the $20, $3 of that would go into the bank, and that would not be touched until that end of the month period where I'd be able to buy singles. It doesn't just carry over to the next week. It'll sit there for later on. As far as the budget itself goes, for the first week, we will do a video about it. It's probably going to be pretty linear, pretty boring, because the first budget of $20 is going to be going towards purchasing a starter deck and maybe a booster pack. So the price guideline we're going off of here is Grand Archive's product sheet they release with every set, where starter decks will be $15 or $14.99, but we're not going to nickel and dime everything. We're just going to round it to an even 15 and call it that. Same thing with the booster packs being $4.99. We're going to round it to an easy 5, just to make math work easier. There's no sense in nickel and diming all of this. So we're going to work off of that. The first week is going to be, purchase the starter deck, maybe a pack, or if we decide to, we can set that money aside to the bank and use it later on in the month. The idea is to get the sense of what somebody with a very small budget would have to work with, and purchasing your first starter deck and that taking up the entirety of your budget for that week would definitely be on those lines. We do have a bulk bin at our local game shop, which, talking with my friend, who's also going to be doing this challenge, which I'll get to that in a second here, we decided that that bulk bin could be included in that, because it's a bunch of 25-cent, 50-cent commons and uncommons, nothing that's going to really change things too much, and most locals do have a bulk system in place, and to some degree, so we figured we would utilize that from our locals as well. To continue on with the rules though, the other part of it is that anything and everything having to do with this budget challenge has to be recorded on camera, or it's basically null and void. We want to be as transparent with everybody as possible, so that everybody can can follow along with us on this journey, and any new players can take notes on things that they want to take notes on, and hopefully be able to do this for themselves. So we're not trying to cheat the system, we're not trying to, speed through this at a super fast pace. We want this to be a learning experience, and we want this to really have an impact on that new player base trying to get into the game, or that has interest in the game. So as it's stated here, everything has to be recorded. If we crack packs from the winnings, when we go over all of our stuff at the end of the week after locals, or then all this stuff has to be, whether it's in a short section of YouTube, which it might be like a quick 30-second video of us opening a pack from our winnings. We'll provide proof of everything just to show what's going on there, and everything will be done right in front of everybody so that they can follow along with us on our journey of starting from a starter deck and getting to the point of hopefully topping, if not winning, locals. So that's the rules basically. Not too much else to touch on there. Like I said, pretty linear. We're trying to just put ourselves in that position where we actually have to put a good amount of effort into improving in the game. I guess one last thing to touch on is in the starter decks, there is, and this is probably something that some of you that have played the game already are asking yourself, and that is, what if you rip a CSR out of your starter deck, or out of a booster pack or something? We are disregarding any CSR pulls, because that is a very easy, oh look, I pulled a CSR, I can now buy the rest of the deck. It kind of defeats the purpose. Anybody can do that, so even somebody new to the game, they can get lucky and pull that CSR, sell the card, and go out and buy their singles that they need. So we're not looking to do that. We're just going to disregard it if it's there. If we pull a CSR, that's awesome and everything, but it will not affect the challenge whatsoever. The deck will not benefit from pulling a CSR out of a pack. So just wanted to make sure that that was stated there. So we'll move on to the next thing here. So the goals. The goal is to, as I stated, win a locals or top a locals, if anything. Just overall do well, and we want this to be a learning experience, and we want this to help us improve overall as players. And above all, we just want to have fun with the game. We want to enjoy the game for what it is, and this challenge will not only help us improve, but it sounds like it'll be a fun experience to kind of put ourselves in a position of being back at the very start of things, where you don't have access to any card that you could possibly want, whether it be by ordering it or just owning it in general. And then having to kind of ride that struggle up. So that's the overall goal. So we're looking to at least top locals, if not win it. To touch on one more thing as well, I will be doing this with a friend of mine, and he will be playing the CL starter, and I will be playing the Diana starter. So every week you will get 2 videos from us involving this budget thing. So there'll be 2 separate videos. I'll be doing mine, he'll be doing his, and you guys will be able to follow along with whichever starter deck that you guys might have picked up or that you want to, follow along with, and can kind of get an idea of each of our individual journeys as a whole as we go through this. So look forward to that. The first one will most likely go up by next Tuesday. So we have 2 locals at our local gaming store, and we do one on Tuesday and we do one on Sunday. So my friend is only able to make it to the Tuesday locals, so he will most likely be posting after Tuesday each week, or some point after Tuesday each week, and I will be posting probably around the same time. If not, I have to attend the Sunday local, and I will post after that. So you guys, either way, you guys will get 2 videos a week from this budget series. So, in closing, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to check out this video, and for just overall being a fan of the game. The community is great. I love the community in this game. I've made so many friends through it and at locals. It's something I look forward to every week, and I'm extremely excited to be able to take part in trying to help grow this community a little bit more, and I hope you guys will come with me on this journey. So thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.